You made it to another episode of the We Did That Shit podcast, hosted by Maya and Bibbi. Join them as they share experiences and opinions about who did some shit, what they learned from shit, and how they got through some shit. Cousins by chance, friends by choice. These two passion driven personalities create addictive conversation.
All right, are we ready?
Yes.
Maya? Okay.
I'm here.
In five. Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey Maya,
Hey,
how you doing, boo?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm chilling.
Um,
I'm
Me
really
too.
trying to work on my voice. I want to be aware of my voice and I don't want to squeak so much.
you know what's funny is because I was listening to a Marco Polo earlier, like in my friend group, and my girlfriend got upset about something that she was talking about these new age nail techs, hair, all that kind of stuff. They have these new booking systems. You can't be 2 minutes late. You got to put a deposit down. You got to come with your hair washed, blow dry, curl. Only thing I'm gonna do is fluff it out. With the nail design. Now when you walk into a nail salon, you look and see what color you want. They be like, pick out a color. You pick out a color. I mean, you might go in thinking, I'm getting fire engine red today. You leave out with hot pink. You don't know. The
Right.
girl, she says the girl is like, what color do you want? What design you want? Like, you need to know that before you come in here so I can prepare. Like, what kind of damn nail service is this? I say all of that to say, as she was doing the Marco Polo, she got so upset telling the story, her voice got
Higher.
louder, higher, squeakier. And it was so funny because at the end of it, I was like, she was like, I'm like, what is she saying? That's how squeaky her voice is. And it just made, and she's from New Jersey too. That's the funny thing. So I'm like, is that how we sound all the time when we get passionate about something? We either sound squeaky or we sound real like, I'll fuck you up. Like we just one or the other.
That's you. You sound hard and aggressive. I sound hard, not hard, hard. And aggressive. I sound squeaky and it gets on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be more cognizant of it. And so I'm just trying to be more aware, keep my feelings in check.
Okay.
Or even when I'm passionate, to keep my tone down.
Yeah.
Not maybe the volume, but the tone. It's just too squeaky. So I'm trying that.
It's gonna work. I feel like now that you know that it's happening, you're going to be like, as soon as you get to that pitch, you're like, yeah, and so. But I still want you to give passion in your voice.
Well, I'm passionate.
Okay.
I have to be passionate from the diaphragm.
Okay. Now, last week before we started,
right,
I gave a special birthday shout out to my aunt. She had a wonderful birthday. This week, I have another special birthday shout out. I want to give a special birthday shout out to my baby, my god baby, one of my everythings. Everybody knows that I didn't have children biologically, but I had babies. So when you hear me talking, and I'll be like, yeah, because my kids, this is one of my kids that I'm talking about.
Yes.
Aubrey, it is your 7th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh my goodness. Obs. Well, I have to stop calling her Obs.
Oh, we do?
Yes. She informed me that she does not want to be called Obs. I was like, Obs, and then her face kind of got this look, and she was like, I said, what's wrong with that? She was like, I really just want to be called And I'm like, really?
What?
Like, since forever. I said, you don't like that? And she said, no. And I said, well, why didn't you tell me? I've been calling you
Yes.
Hobbs for a long time. She said, I mean, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I was
Oh,
like, oh, but I'll call you by your name if you want,
okay.
So, Aubrey,
Happy birthday, Aubrey. Yes.
enjoy
It
your
seems like just yesterday we were at the baby shower. This is
It
crazy.
really was. And now she is 7 years old. And she's spending
7.
her 7th birthday with one of her favorite people, which is me. And let me just tell you, this is how I know she my baby. That baby know how to spend some money. That baby knows how to spend some money. I'm gonna tell you, she's
Yes.
like, can we go here? Then she tells me, because I want to go to a fancy restaurant. I said, not like just a regular restaurant, huh?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I want to get something fancy, like, where you sit down and they come over and they take your order. I like that type of stuff,
Oh,
fancy. I like real restaurants. I said, oh,
okay.
okay. So yeah, we have a day planned, really a week.
Mhm.
She's going to be here with me for the week, and we've been doing our activities, and I've been hearing a lot of Maya. So Maya, what do you think about this, Maya? Maya, let me show you something. Maya, Maya. I'm going to be tired of my own name by the end of this week, but great
Yeah.
times.
It's all in love.
Yeah. So
I
that's
know.
really what I've been doing with my week, what's been going on. I also realized that, like, I'm not, after I've reached a certain age, I'm not cut out for a lot of people in the home. Like,
I don't know what you're talking about because I don't ever remember like company is you like oh here again.
yeah.
Yeah. I take me to the time where you weren't like that. I don't
Well,
remember.
you know what? I was always like that. Always felt like it's nowhere to sit. And everybody knows I love family. I love being around family. I love being around people. And then I like to go home and it be quiet.
Right.
That's really what it is. But as I've gotten older, because before I didn't like company necessarily, but they were there. So you just got used to it. And it just, you bitched. I bitched, but they was there. Now it's like, because I live alone, I like living alone. I like walking in the door and it's quiet. And that makes me realize that even if I had a family, a husband, or anybody in here, give me 2 seconds when I walk through the door. Let me take a deep breath and then I'll get back to you. Okay. And that's the way that I'm feeling now. Like, let's let's be quiet
Yes.
for a good 20 minutes. And then we can resume the activity. I mean, but it's been great having family here. But it's gonna be great having them go home too. Mhm. But that's what I've been doing with my week, having a good time and enjoying it. How about you? What have you been doing with your week?
Well, summer is winding down, so I'm trying to get everything in. I've wrote a few more paragraphs in the book, wrote
Good.
a gem, went to a family reunion last weekend, and it was crazy the stuff that I don't know. And I was like, Daddy, why don't I know this? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
why don't like I know of a lot of people that I've
Mhm.
never met and stuff like that, but in my mind, it was one way. You know,
Mhm.
when my grandpa came up from the south and stuff like that. And I know my grandpa. Well, I knew him. He passed. I was in middle school though, so I spent a lot of time with him.
Okay.
And I remember, he spoke of like one brother a lot. They were the closest, but I think he had passed like earlier.
Mhm.
And but my grandfather's parents, both his mother and father, were like one of 13 kids.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I'm like,
They was pushing them out then.
in my mind, right, and they were farmers.
Mhm.
So in my mind, I'm like, I don't know all these people. Growing up, it was me and one cousin. She's 3 months older than me, and it was me and her. That's it. She had a brother. He was a couple years older than us, and he was a boy, so we didn't play like all the time. It was me and her. That's it. And like now, out of the woodworks, all these people.
Now you get all these cousins.
What is going on? So that was interesting. The place we went, the reunion was in the Poconos, so it was like a lot of activities, boating, swimming. People were out there fishing. It was just a lot of stuff. It was nice. We had a really good time, and Jiggy came.
Oh, well, that was good. That Jiggy,
yes.
Yeah, because he definitely picks and chooses.
Yes,
activities. Yeah. So that was good.
That I was happy.
People got to see him because you hear so much about Jiggy, and then it's like
appearances.
I never see him. But then for him to come out, and he looked like he had a ball because he was posting.
Yes.
One thing about Jiggy, once he gets there, he gonna have it. Now he might. It might take him a while to come, but he gonna have himself a good time when he gets there.
Yeah, he liked it. He was even taking pictures of the scenery.
Yeah,
he was like, "This is nice," like the park and the water and stuff like that. So he had a good time. The only thing is that I love my Jig, but Jiggy doesn't stay out. So we had to drive up that morning and drive back. When it was over, because Jiggy is not for the stay the nights. So he's
It's like one step at a time. You got him there. You got to work on staying out.
Exactly. He doesn't like to stay out. And it was so funny because our pavilion was close to the restrooms. And the restrooms, it was a building. So we were like, oh, cool. They have restrooms. But when you went in there, it was like both of them were family style restrooms. They had a urinal, a changing table, and I'm like, this is disgusting.
Right.
So I don't think I ever used the bathroom with a urinal in it before in my life. And so Jiggy was like later in the afternoon, and I have to check on him because he does not like public restrooms. So which is probably why he doesn't go out a lot. But he comes up to me before I could even ask. He was like, "Mom, are the bathrooms sanitary?" And I was like, I said, Jiggy, they're okay. I said, put your mask on because it's just, I said, have you, because he doesn't use the urinal. And I was like, it just has like a smell. It's okay. It just has a smell. Well, put your mask on. Maybe that'll help. Try to hold your breath. And I think he was in and out of that bathroom. Oh my goodness. It was funny. But I mean, what you going to do? But he won't go outside either. He will not go outside.
Yeah, see, men have it easy because when in doubt, you can just go outside. Women, on the other hand, like it's too much, to be squatting and this and that. The knees ain't like they used to.
I was about to say, and the older you get, them squats be like,
yeah, a little shaky. Exactly. But I'm glad you had excuse me, I'm glad you had a good time.
Yes.
My friends and I are actually doing the Poconos for our book club trip. We were supposed to go to Atlantic City. They did that, but I didn't get a chance to go. So we are, and then other people were included in that because it was kind of like it was a birthday trip more so than just the girls of the book club. So we decided to do get an Airbnb in the Poconos and just like do some stuff for the weekend. So that's what we're going to do in November. We're planning that now. And it just made me think of it because you said the Poconos.
Yeah, well, somebody in Black-owned New Jersey just posted their Airbnb in Tobiana State Park, and it was nice. So you can look for it. But that's where we were. That's where we were on Sunday, Tobiana State Park. It is nice. And it's a whole house, nice, has a little fire pit in the back, whatever. It looked pretty decent.
Well, I look for it because we want to do maybe like a family trip, and the Poconos was where we were thinking about going last year. But for the book club trip, we already picked out the house that we want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, for the family trip, it may not be big enough for all of us.
Oh, okay.
Us.
I hear the inclusion.
I'm just saying.
Okay. We'll get us A big house. Then.
Exactly.
We'll get it together.
Exactly.
But I want to start. I want to start doing that. I know that we talked before about a cousin's trip, and we, when I say my family, how we talked about a family trip. So we want to try to start getting those things together. Last week we talked about travel. And so even though the summer is winding down, we're setting up stuff for the fall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because the fall
is where it's at.
I like the summer, but the fall brings about what? What is the best thing that the fall brings about?
Football.
And
my birthday. My birthday and football. My birthday season and football season kind of coincide.
Okay. It's a party.
Yeah, and that's what I feel about fall. Summer is where you spend all your money, spend all your time. You just out. Football, you're home more. Mm-hmm. It's more family oriented. You spend a little less money. A little less because we buy
yes.
A little less. And it's like the family's back together again, and everybody comes together for this one love.
Yes.
Football.
Yeah. And as you can see, for the people that are watching, we have on our team shirts.
That's right. Philadelphia Eagles all day, baby. And I love bling. I like
that shirt a lot.
Oh, thank you so much, Bill.
I have to get y'all to get me some apparel because I live in, what's the name of that team? What's
the names?
Yeah, the names. I live in the region of the names. They ain't even got they got a name.
They do. I think it's like Commander, Warrior, something. I don't know. I
don't know. I mean, like all I know is that much like
I'm not wearing that stuff.
Yes, it's like even if I liked it, I wouldn't wear the new team. And I understand why they had to change the name, and all of that. But if I was a fan, I would
be upset too. Yeah.
I would be like, I've been a fan of this all my life. I have all of these things. Now you think I'm going to buy all this new stuff? But our team remains the same.
Yes. We chose the best name. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, you genuinely like football.
Love it.
Why?
Well, it's a number of reasons why I like football. I like the aggression of football, even though football is very dangerous. I think that it's a dangerous game, but the aggression of it is what draws me to the game. I also love football. It's one of those type of things. It's like one of those type of things that I think sports draws people together. In general, because I'm so family oriented, I think that that's like a major part of why I like football, because football, just like you said, it brings the family together, either in a good way or a bad way. Either you're fighting against each other because your team is something else than my team, and you're talking shit, and it's just a good family. Talking shit in a family, it's just a good time. Football is much like spades. We're going to talk shit. It might bring out a little bit of like, fuck you, I never want to see you again. But you
only a Dallas fan says that.
Yeah, but you're always going to get back together.
Exactly.
You still love each other. And because of that, that just draws me to the game of football. But also, I mean, like, I like the actual game. Because women know about football. Like,
hello.
We are true fans. We're not just looking at it because we're like, oh, we like the uniforms, we like the colors, we like the men, because now that's a plus.
Right.
in uniform is a plus. But it's not, it's about them taking the ball down the field. It's about that moment where, anything can happen. Like it's truly like a game is never over until that clock runs out.
Exactly. I think that's one of the things I love about football. It really is any given Sunday.
Yeah.
And like anything can happen. You don't want to miss a game because even if it's not your team playing, I really enjoy like the athleticism to see. So I remember on Sundays, I would just watch one game after the next. I just will watch all the games because I didn't want to miss anything. I didn't want to miss like something that could possibly be the play of the year.
Yes.
You know, I wanted to make sure that I saw it. So yeah, I enjoyed that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because it really is one of listen, when you watching basketball,
all that sneaker
if your team got 120 points, the other team got 90 points, and it's a certain amount of time left in the game, you already know, like, they lost. My team lost.
Right.
Football,
never know.
It doesn't matter. Last play can be the play. You know, you can get a Hail Mary. You can run that ball down. I'm most excited when it's like, come on, we need a first down. Like, if we get, because you know, you coach on the sideline, you get us a first down, baby, we could get down the field.
I got a red phone in the basement. That's right.
You ain't going down the field, but you be like, listen, if you could get me, if you could get me a first down, we could score. And it really is like that. So it's the excitement, like you said. I like the camaraderie of it. You know, the way that it draws people together. I like the suspense of it. I like all of those things about football. And then it kind of like is ingrained in us specifically to like football. Like,
I think so too. I think we were like the way that our family functions. It's just like, because our families had season tickets since the 70s.
Right.
To, you know, this is what we know. It's what we do every day.
It's like one of those things, like, you know, you're going to eat collard greens on Thanksgiving. You know, we're going to sing happy birthday to Grandma Gant when she was living on Christmas.
Exactly.
And you know, on Sundays during this time, we're going to be watching football. It just is what it is. Because when did football actually start? Like, when was the first?
Really? I think it was, I don't know the original years, but I know football has been in like at least the 20s, you know, before they even had good equipment and stuff like that. You mentioned it being a dangerous game. So they played, and they had, you know, they would play their games. There was only a select number of teams, hardly no protection.
Right.
And they played, like, the National Football League existed because before they start having the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl was the 1960s, like 66, 67, something like that was the first Super Bowl. But before then, they would have the national championship games, of which the Eagles won 2 back-to-back. Hello.
Let them know, Bib. Let them know. Let them know the stats.
And then, you know, I don't know what happened, but it got, because we won a national championship in 1960 as well. And then, like, right after that, Green Bay just started to get like real good. Like, Green Bay was the team of the 60s. They were just like knocking it out. And so I think like later in the 60s is when they start having the elimination. They had more teams, and they start having that elimination style up into a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and that's why they called it Vince Lombardi Trophy. Vince Lombardi was the coach of the Packers. So that's kind of like what, and you mentioned Hail Marys, and like Hail Marys, Roger Staubach, he played for Dallas for like 10, 11 years or something like that. He was their quarterback. And but one game he did the first Hail Mary. And what happened was, you know what a Hail Mary is. It's like you go back and it's like a long throw, like all the way down the field, and it was caught, and you know, all the excitement and stuff like that. Again, any given Sunday, anything can happen. So when they interviewed him later, they were like, well, what were you thinking? What was going on? He was like, I don't know. I just closed my eyes and said the Hail Mary and threw it.
Wow.
And so that's how the term Hail Mary
came about.
Yes, became. And so like, it's just things like that. And then I remember I don't remember because I wasn't there, but in the 1940s when we were at war, it was war torn. The Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers merged together to make a team.
Yes.
And they were called the Steagles.
Yes.
they were
you know what's so funny about that? I told you I had a plumber in my house not long ago. And you know, people tell you their life story. So while the man was fixing the pipe and everything, you know, he was just talking to me, and he was like, "You're not from around here." And I said, "I'm not." And he was like, "Not by the way you talk, it's your accent." He said, you're not from around here. So then I said, "I'm from close to Philadelphia. You know, I'm from New Jersey. I'm from close to Philadelphia." He said, "Yeah, I could tell." He said, "I'm from Pittsburgh." And I said, "Oh, okay, Steelers fan, huh?" And he was like, "Yeah." He said the same thing. "Did you know that team that was he was an older white man?" He was like, "Did you know that they used to have a team and it was called?" And I said, "Really? I didn't know that." And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Look it up." And I said, "We was once joined together, and now it's like."
I don't really have any against the Steelers fans.
No,
The Steelers. I mean, they got a black coach, all for it. You know, I like Mike Tomlin and everything.
Yeah, they got a rapist quarterback, but I was
gonna try to leave that out, but yeah, I was like,
not me. No, not me, because that white man is sitting around raping all kinds of people, and they ain't saying nothing. But
his rookie season, before the allegations,
yes,
you know, his rookies, Ben Roethlisberger had an excellent.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he
was Big Ben. He was Big Ben in more ways than one.
Yes. Very good. Very good. But yeah, I mean, you know, Steelers fans, I can live with them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really bother me. You know, they know how to take a jab, you know, and the Steelers were the team of the 70s.
Yep.
So, you know, everything was all about the steel curtain and, you know, everything. They won a lot in the 70s. They were the team of the 70s. I think like every decade had
the team.
The 60s was Green Bay, the 70s were the Steelers, the 80s was the 49ers, the 90s was, you know, 2000s, the Patriots. You know, they just, every decade has their teams. So, and it's just enjoyable.
Yes, the best time for me for football, even though we are Eagles fans, was the 80s with the team of the 49ers, because my brother is such a big 49ers fan. And if I had to choose a second team, it will always be the 49ers because he's such a big fan. And I was such a huge fan of like Jerry Rice and, you know, Montana and, you know, all those guys. And now that to me was like
football,
an exciting time for football. You know, it was like we were young enough to I don't think we were just kind of like learning the game. We were just kind of like learning the game, you know, so you was all into it. And then when you pick that team, because I think we're Eagles fans, I would say I can't speak for you. It's like you didn't really get a chance. You didn't really get a chance.
Exactly.
No, you Eagles fans.
Good parents.
You know, we have family that had branched off. Because like I said, as long as I can remember, my brother was a 49ers fan. It did not matter.
Well, that's how I started. Like when I was really getting into football, it was the 49ers. So I remember the year before Super Bowl 15, the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. We lost to the Raiders, I think. And then and I was like, oh man, we lost, you know, and I was young, like in single digits. I was like in single digits. And then Super Bowl 16, I was in the 3rd grade. And I remember because my teacher, who was also a woman, who she must have really liked football as well. She was like all of our lessons, as soon as we came back from the Christmas holiday, all of our lessons had some kind of football incorporated into it. And everything was leading up to the Super Bowl. Because, you know, when you come back, that's like playoff time and stuff like that. So I remember we were singing Super Bowl chants and music and writing essays about football and language arts. Like the sentences had to have something to do with football. And so in art class, and it was time for the Super Bowl, it was the Cincinnati Bengals versus the 49ers. And so we had to choose a team create in our art class, create pennants and buttons and draw a t-shirt to support your team. And we had like a little pep rally type thing. And so I was looking, and I must have been born, can't lie, because Cincinnati Bengals, that Tiger stuff, I was like,
no, I don't like this.
I don't like that. So I picked the 49ers. The gold, I love the metallics, always have. So I was like, oh, now I like their colors, so I was everything 49ers. Girl, when the 40, and I watched the Super Bowl, and when the 49ers, you couldn't tell me I wasn't.
You're right.
I was a guru.
I told you they was.
I knew it.
Right.
I was screaming and hollering and everything, and that really started my football. And ever since then, I could watch a whole game without interruption. Nobody had to force me.
Right.
I was just like, oh, what's going to happen now? And another thing I really like about football is I can keep who's in first place in my head. You know what I mean? They don't play a million gazillion games, and it's not a whole lot of teams. Like basketball, they play a million games. Baseball, they play a gazillion games. I can't follow all that. But with football, every Sunday, I'm like, okay, this one needs to win, that one needs to lose. This one, I can keep all of that in my head.
Right.
So, and I like that too.
Yeah. I enjoy that type of stuff as well. And then when you get older, you can bet and you can talk more crap, and so you definitely want to know who's in first and things like that.
Exactly.
But as a child, listen, my most proud football moment it wasn't even for me. It was for me with my brother. I remember making my brother. Let me tell you, this was the best. Now, this hands down was the best gift that I've ever given my brother all of our lives, and I've given him some good stuff.
Right.
I remember collecting. He collected, we both collected football cards.
Okay.
So I was like, these football cards got to be worth something, because, I'm about $1. Right. So I'm like, these football cards got to be worth something or whatever. I was like, I'm going to take these football cards because they're going to be worth something later on in life. I took all these cards, stole his cards. He was pissed, right? He kept saying, I can't find this. And I was like, I don't even know where it's at. I don't know. Who was in here, like who'd have been in the house type stuff,
That is terrible.
Took the cards, had them framed.
Oh.
Like all the cards framed, and then it had like the big 40, San Francisco, and then the 49ers thing at the end. And then I gave it to him. Let me tell you, I almost thought he was going to cry. That's how special it was. And I was like, I did that shit. Even back then. even back then, I was like, I did that shit. But no. And it was just, so I say that to say that's also what made me be like, yeah, I definitely am a secondary 49ers fan. Like I feel like both my teams, but if they were playing each other, it's like I'm a root for the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Again, we didn't really have a choice in that, because the first person that exposed me to football really was Uncle Rudy. It was like, come on now, girl, sit down here. Like, oh, what we doing? Because I love to be around my own. What we doing today, Uncle Rudy? And he was like, we're gonna watch this football game. I'm like, okay. Sat there, watched the game with him, and he'd be like, you know what's going on, girl? I'm like, no, I don't. But he would tell you,
yes,
this means this,
yes,
that means that,
yes,
got 4th and goal. That means they have to do this. We need to get a first down. Then when they bring the chain out and all of those things. Yes. He explained all of those things. So it's like we've really been knowing about football since we were kids. So like, again,
knowing the rules and everything. Yes.
Watch football, and we're into football.
Yes. We're not. Yes. And I remember like
sitting on the sideline.
Exactly.
Hearing you.
I mean, I am a pretty face sitting on the sideline.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just saying
I'm more than a pretty face.
But that's not all that it is, because I feel that like if you tell a man that you're into football, like right now, we say, a man say, what you doing? And I'm like, I'm watching a game. It's kind of like, You really watching the game?
Right.
Yeah, I'm watching the game, and I'm gonna call you back. Like, what
Exactly.
you should be watching the game? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Now we're actually watching
Yes.
the game.
And you know what else? And we did the podcast on like the things I learned from dating a younger man, and he is not into football like at all. Like I know people that like he played basketball. I guess he likes basketball. He watches a lot of boxing, but he's not into football, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
it was just weird. Like, what are you doing?
Well, what do you
do? And then you want me to do things on Sunday, and I'm like, it's what? It was really strange. So, we don't have to watch every single game, but it's football season.
Yeah, like I'm gonna watch my team at least.
You know what I mean? Something. I don't know. Yeah, it's true. But we women we're evolving. Oh, you mentioned Uncle Rudy, and I was trying not to, but Uncle Rudy. But a lot of time I remember I was somewhere watching the Super Bowl with some friends, and you know how they have all those quizzes, like when we go to commercial, they ask a question, whatever. And every time they ask a question, I was like, oh, this one, Joe Montana, Roger Jaworski, Michael Swan, whatever, just like all these things. And it was looking at me like,
yeah,
exactly. But I remember, being on the couch at Aunt Kathy's, and who is like the calmest, cool, but if you ever pay attention, he commentates the whole game, the whole entire game. But you really have to pay attention to notice Stephen.
Oh yeah,
he'd be like, safety 2 points. He stayed calm like the whole time.
He just such a laid back, yeah.
Holding.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
hopping around like benches. You don't know that was a safety.
But he used to commentate the whole game, and that's when that like we started learning the plays, like what's going to happen and what we saw and what does it mean and stuff like that. But he would do that like all the time, and so that's how I would learn like a lot of things. And we had like a quiz bowl, and they were like, I want her. I don't know everything.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite pastime is to go out and watch a game. Sit at a sports bar, watch a game around a bunch
I'm gonna do that this season
around a bunch of fellas, and they're because it's like when you born with testicles, it's just like you just know it's no doubt about it that you just know everything about sports, and they look at women like, oh, you just trying to like get attention, and I like to go out to these sports bars, watch my games, say what I'm gonna say. They're like, oh, you know about football? And I'm like, yeah, and I want you to be quiet while I'm watching the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do this to impress you. I'm here to watch. But that's my favorite thing to do, because it's always like, oh, you know about football?
Yes, yeah. I do. Yeah. And I decided I'm going to do that this season. I even put it in my budget. Because I live near Chicky and Pete's. The apartment is near Chicky and Pete's.
Chicky and Pete's is racist to me.
It's around the corner.
I mean, I get you.
I've never had a bad experience at Chicky and Pete's. The one in South Philly. But
I know several people who have had racist experiences at the one that's around from you, the one that used to be Champs, and then they turned it into Chicken. Yeah, but I mean, that might not be your experience, so go on ahead and see. And
we'll see how it goes. I planned to go there on Thursday nights because I don't have a TV in the apartment.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, on Thursday nights when I'm finished work, I'll just go over to Chicky and Pete's and watch the games. And so that's my plan for this season, so I can watch the Thursday night games, except for Eagles Texans, because
we'll actually be at that game.
Yes.
Because women love football. Yes. So we travel for our team. Yes. We go to games as much as we can. We really enjoy it. And let me just say one thing, women out there, If you don't like football, don't pretend that you like football.
Right.
Don't be one of those type of people. And this is for the men too, because you just mentioned that your friend, well, not your friend, he wasn't your friend at the time, he was your man at the time, but that he didn't like football, and good thing that he didn't pretend to like it. But a lot of people, I think, and I'm, we're speaking from the woman's perspective in football, you pretend to like something, and it's like so that you can get the attention of somebody, and it's like, yeah, I love it, and then it's like, oh, you watching another game? Yes. I'm watching another game. This many games in the season, and I'm gonna watch them all, and then it's the playoffs. And so
it was like that. It was really like that, because it was like, oh, you going, because what we do every Saturday. It's like, okay, where are we watching the game? Like, whose house are we watching the game? And it's like, you going there? Oh, now you going there? Yes.
Yes.
This is what we do.
And you should be coming too. So much so that I'm coming home for these games. I'm coming to New Jersey so that I can watch the game.
Yes.
But yeah, because we love football. I mean, we just love it. And as you mentioned earlier, football is evolving, and I'm very happy about that. It was a touch and go little situation for a minute there, because we weren't watching football, or we wasn't trying to support the NFL, because nothing has changed in the NFL as far as ownership and things of that nature. However, we are having a surge of women now being coaches
on the coaching staff,
and referees.
Yes. Trainers. So women are evolving in the NFL, and I think that's great. And don't get me wrong, like you said, I do stand with Colin Kaepernick. I mean, I do. I applaud him for his stance and for not backing down and for not giving up. And I do hope that change is coming. And then for a few seasons, I did not watch.
Right.
I did not watch, and they were long seasons.
Long seasons. Not even going to lie.
Long seasons. I'm not even going to lie. It was, it was difficult, and I think, of course, more so because of the family content that we have with football is what makes it so meaningful for us. But yeah, so there are teams like I don't know who the first team, but it was like the first, I know the 49ers, the Raiders, the Bills, and the Cardinals. They had, and it wasn't like there's no head coaches, no general managers that are female, but they had women on their coaching staff. They have, or had women on their coaching staff previously. And then Colette Smith, who's the first Black woman to be added to a coaching staff. She works for the Jets. And then other teams have come on board, like the what's the names. Some other team, like, I mean, how do you even like change your name like that?
I don't know.
It's like one thing to change
what's the names,
but the Washington what's the names? That's what I call them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they are. I had an argument about the what's the names the other day, because a person who is in love with the what's the names, that's their team. Hey, we're gearing up to go on a family trip for the Eagles versus the what's the names. And so of course it's a lot of trash talking leading up to that. And he was like, yeah, because we're gonna be doing this and we're gonna be doing that. And I was like, oh my man, y'all don't even have a name. Y'all don't even have some people that don't have a name can't say nothing to me. Like, he was like, that's your only that's your own. I only need that. That's all I need. Y'all don't have a name. You know what I mean? You gotta get
you can't even root hard, right?
Y'all gotta buy all. I said, y'all in a deficit. Y'all don't have a name. You gotta buy all new gear.
Yes.
The new name is dumb. It just don't even make sense. Like, don't trash talk me. Don't trash talk me.
And and I'm calling everybody out because this is football, all no holds bar. So Chef Sean is a what's her name's fan. Always been a what's her name's fan. Got the what's her name decals on the back of his trucks and everything. And so I remember when I bought my house, and he came, he looked, he said, "Oh, this is nice," and he saw the basement. He was like, "Oh man, I love this." He was like, "This would be great for a Super Bowl party." And I was like, if your team ever makes the Super Bowl, you can have a party here. I'm just saying, I've been in my house a long time.
and I know for a long time, speaking of Super Bowls, that was something that they were throwing up in our face. But
hello. Yes.
We won a Super Bowl. What Super Bowl did we win?
2018 Super Bowl 52. That was us.
Yeah, just putting that out there.
Exactly. And we've been to the Super Bowl, and there are other teams there, and I never hear people talk about those teams. There are other teams that have never won the Super Bowl. Still, right.
Well, people think that
they always ragging on us.
People think that and I will say this. Let me tell you something. I'm straight up about it. People put Eagles fans as some of the worst fans. And I always say the same thing. Now, I ride for my team, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And if you're right, you're right. I'm not saying that Eagles fans are the best fans. I mean, we did boo Santa Claus.
And so snowballs filled with batteries, but so what?
And it's a fight every game. I mean, it happens.
It's passion. Don't come
I talked about the aggression in the beginning when we first started talking about football. So, I mean, it goes hand in hand. But really, it's just like we are excited that the season is coming back. This is the first. Is this our first season without Uncle Rudy? No,
last year.
Last year was our first season without Uncle Rudy. Yes, okay. But each season it doesn't get easier without him. He was such a intricate part of, our family structure, and then especially of the structure of when it comes down to football, exposing the children to football, traveling with him for football. Yes. And I don't want to make the podcast sad, but it's
tailgater extraordinaire.
Yeah, it is just like, when you think about it. But he instilled in us so many great things as far as football is concerned, and family in football. Yes. You know what I mean? So I was watching one of the saddest movies ever, The Best Man Holiday.
Oh,
and he said, if you had 3 words to describe? And he said, faith, family, football. And
that's it.
That just made me think about, this as we're talking about our family and football, and we definitely have faith. So
yes. Me too.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good year for football in general. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of moving people around, sitting people down. So I'm looking forward to what is to come. And I'm looking forward to some newness, some freshness. Like we need these plays of the century. They still run plays, old plays, like things that happened so long ago by one of the great athletes, the Deion Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Lynn Swan, like so many people. So I'm looking forward to seeing some newness, to seeing what these young people have to offer, and us having a great season.
Yes.
And I'm just excited about football.
Me too. I'm definitely looking forward to us having a good season. I mean, it's all about EAGLES.
All about us. That's right. All day.
Yes. So, you know what? We'll get back on here and talk our. Hour. Now we gonna talk our. Okay. Well, no, we're gonna get back on here and talk our is if we have a winning season like we want
Yes,
to. You know what I mean? You'll never know when you might hear us on here. We might give it we might become commentators. We might give you play-by-plays every damn week. I don't know, because the theme of this show is women watch football.
exactly.
You
Women do
know.
watch football. Yes.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here for this week. Be on the lookout for the Eagles. Be on the lookout for us talking shit. Always remember to listen to us anywhere where you can listen to a podcast. We
Yes.
are everywhere. I once again want to plug our YouTube. Make sure that you follow, subscribe, like the YouTube. We could really use those likes and we could definitely use those subscriptions. So make sure that you check us out. You can see us now. You can see all my
Yes.
mannerisms. You can see all the bees bright smile. You can see us. So check us out. I'll make sure that I put the link in the description so that it'll be easy for you to just click on it and subscribe. Follow us on social media. Follow me and Bibbi separately. We'll be here same time next week because we drop an all new episode each and every Monday. So see you then.
I love you, Maya.
Love you too. I had to get the bright smile at the end.